Hello and welcome to Picture Astrology. In this very important video, we will talk about an extremely fundamental yet a very subtle aspect of Ketu. In fact, in traditional astrology, this aspect of Ketu is one of the most fundamental way to understand the functioning of Ketu in a horoscope, both for a physical point of view as well as in esoteric astrology or understanding the spiritual impact of Ketu. And unfortunately, this very basic property is not part of the modern day astrological discussions in the manner as it should have been. And later in the video, we will also see how this understanding helps us differentiate the impact of Rahu and Ketu in an individual horoscope. Now let's start with the generally accepted notion of Rahu and Ketu. So broadly speaking, Rahu is defined as your this life's desires, whereas Ketu is said to be the things or actions which you have done in past life, and since you have enjoyed those fruits in past lives or done those activities in past life, and therefore in this life you are not much interested in those. And this is what generally we hear about the basic definition of Rahu and Ketu. And also broadly speaking, these are decent definitions, but there is a basic flaw in it. And let's look at it with an example. So suppose you have a desire, a very strong desire, which is Rahu, to eat a mango. So you have a very strong desire where you want to eat a mango. So this becomes your Rahu, because that's essentially your desire. Now let's assume that you ended up eating mangoes. You somehow found ways to fulfill this desire of eating mangoes. So what will happen, or what could possibly happen? One aspect is the mangoes were great, you want to eat more mangoes. Or the other opposite of this could be, okay, you don't want to eat more mango. You don't want more. So some people, they also say that if you want to eat more mango, then this is your Rahu. But if you don't want to eat more mango, then this becomes Ketu. But traditionally, that's not 100% correct either. Because if you see, wanting to eat more mangoes in this case, or wanting to not eat more, both of them are some kind of desires. They are desire, one way or the other. And hence, both of them are essentially Rahu. In the most fundamental aspect, your desire to have something or your desire to not have something, they both are some kind of desires, and therefore they are Rahu. And there is a third possibility which we are not going into, at least in this video, which is, you get to a point where you don't care whether you eat or not. That's a separate aspect. We will keep it for some later videos. But for now, once a desire is fulfilled, then if you want more of it or you don't want more of it, they both are classified as Rahu and desire. Then what is Ketu? And to understand Ketu, let's just expand this example a little more. So you want to eat mango, and we are going to take two extreme examples. So to fulfill that desire to eat mango, you decided to, say, plant a mango tree. Now that's a very time consuming and difficult task, but what to do? You wanted to eat mango. So you planted a tree. And then the tree, in its due course of time, bore some nice fruits, and you ate them. And you fulfilled the desire of eating the mangoes. Now, like we just saw, once you eat something or once you get something, you would either want more of it or you would want less of it. But both of them are still Rahu. But in the process to fulfill this desire, you created some drad karmas. And I have talked about type of karmas in previous videos. They are also related to Rahu and Ketu, so you can kind of check them. But in this case, planting the tree is actually a very benefic karma. This tree would not only benefit you and fulfill your desires, but it will provide mangoes to many other people. It will provide shade to many other people. Planting a tree in itself is a benefic and auspicious work. So, in the due course, to fulfill your desires, you created some very benefic and auspicious drad karmas, strong karmas for yourself. Now let's assume a different possibility, that you wanted to eat a mango. What you did was you simply steal it with somebody. Steal it from the shopkeeper or stole money and then ended up eating the mango. Again, since you ate the mango, the possibilities after eating mango are still same. You would either want to eat more of it or less of it, and that is still Rahu. But the mechanism through which you fulfill this desire, in this case now, is going to create some very negative and harmful drad karmas for you. And these karmas, whether it's benefic or malefic, these are pretty strong. In fact, in some of my previous videos I have talked about how Rahu and Ketu are the two biggest poles of the karmic chain. So these drad karmas which you are creating in pursuit of your most intense desires is what is Ketu. And therefore Ketu in your chart could be great. It could be giving some very benefic results in the physical world. Similarly with Rahu. Rahu could be giving some great results or not so great results. But essentially Rahu is your strongest desires, which kind of binds you to this world. And Ketu are some of the strongest karmas which you need to go through. And these are also the karmas which are binding you to this world. So if you consider, karma or karmic bondages are many times thought of as a chain, chain which is binding you or binding living beings into this worldly realms. And in this karmic chain, the two strongest of the poles are Ketu and Rahu. They're almost like pull and push. Meaning Rahu is the strongest desire which is pulling you towards this. You want something and those desires can be fulfilled in this world. And Ketu is something which is the burden which must be paid off. Until this account is empty, you cannot be free of this bondage. Similarly, until this desires, this pull is empty, you cannot be free of this karmic bondages. And since these are the two strongest of the connections, once these two connections become weakened, then this whole karmic chain can easily come down. It's easy to pull down this karmic chain if the push and pull, the two strongest of the bond, are weakened. So this is one of the most subtle and yet a fundamental difference in which Ketu should be interpreted and Rahu Ketu should be differentiated. In next video, I'll try to show some examples as to how in real world this concept can be applied and understood the different significations of Ketu and Rahu in a particular chart. So thank you, my friends. Thank you for all your wishes and being with me. As always, please do like, share and subscribe to this channel, and I hope to talk to you again soon.